I paid the mortgage for 2 years. And then my mom sent a text saying, "We changed the locks. We no longer trust you." It felt like someone punched me in the chest. My hands started shaking. I stood in the middle of my apartment, rereading the message over and over, wondering how the people I had sacrificed everything for could shut me out like I was nothing. If this story hits you emotionally, or if you've ever been taken for granted, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop me in the comments if you felt this kind of betrayal. My name is Ava. I'm 31, live in Dallas, and work in digital marketing. 2 years ago, I gave up my dream condo to help my parents keep their house from being taken by the bank. Every single month, $400 came out of my account. Not for me, but for them. For the house that held my childhood, the place I once thought of as home. But to my parents, I was always the responsible one, not the loved one. That title belonged to my younger sister, Chelsea. Chelsea was their golden child. Always reckless, always broke, but somehow always protected. Every time she screwed up, they'd sweep in. When she maxed out her credit cards, they paid them off. When she crashed her third car, they bought her another. I got a happy birthday text and a $30 Amazon gift card. Still, when my parents sat across from me, looking desperate and tired, saying the bank was closing in, I couldn't say no. "I'll cover the mortgage," I said, "just until you get back on your feet." They didn't say thank you. Not once. It was just expected. That's when I should have seen it. To them, I was a safety net, not a daughter. I cut out vacations, skipped dinners out, even took freelance jobs on weekends. Meanwhile, Chelsea kept living like an influencer with zero income. And every Sunday, I still came to family dinner, smiled through it, and acted like nothing bothered me. Even when they asked me to bring dessert, while I was paying their bills. Then, last month, everything changed. Chelsea moved back in. She said it was temporary. But soon, she was redecorating rooms, holding backyard parties, and one night, I overheard her say something that stopped me cold. She'll never ask for it back. Ava's just comfortable being used. I didn't say anything. Not yet. But something inside me cracked. The next Sunday, I showed up for dinner as usual. Cheesecake in hand, fake smile in place. But as I walked in, something felt off. My dad avoided eye contact. My mom was overly cheerful. Chelsea was grinning like she knew something I didn't. That night, after I got home, the message came in. "We've changed the front door locks and gate code. We no longer trust you." But what my mom didn't know is that she'd just triggered something I'd kept quiet for too long. And what I did next would flip our entire family's future upside down. I didn't reply to the text. Not immediately. Instead, I stared at the screen, heart pounding, brain spinning. They'd locked me out of the house I was still paying for. I had sacrificed my financial stability, skipped saving for my own future, all to keep that house standing. And now I was not trusted? That wasn't just betrayal. That was war. I called my best friend Jordan, my voice shaking. They changed the locks. They said I'm not welcome anymore. There was silence on the other end. Then, "Ava, you're paying the mortgage. On a house they kicked you out of?" "Yeah." "Cancel. The payments." It hit me like lightning. I had power, real power, and they forgot that. I logged into my bank account, heart thudding in my chest. For a second, my finger hovered over the recurring payment button. $5,400 a month, every single month. Gone from my life, never questioned, never respected, not anymore. I clicked cancel, then I emailed the bank. "I'm not a co-owner on the house. Please stop all future auto payments on this account." I explained it professionally, But every word felt like revenge wrapped in reason. For the first time in years, I chose myself, not them, not Chelsea, me. The silence from my family was immediate and terrifying. For 2 days, not a single call, not a single text. I could almost picture them smiling, thinking they'd won, that I was sulking quietly somewhere, licking my wounds like always. But then, the first of the month hit. That's when the messages exploded. Chelsea's came first. "Ava, what the hell?" The bank called. "Missed mortgage payment? Are you serious? You're really going to destroy everything over your feelings?" Then Dad. "Unacceptable behavior. You have responsibilities to this family. Call your mother immediately." And finally the Queen herself, Mom. "Sweetheart, I think you misunderstood. We only changed the locks for security. There have been break-ins in the neighborhood. Of course you're still welcome. We just need to talk about this bank issue." "Right. Security. They weren't sorry. They weren't panicking because they hurt me. They were panicking because the money stopped. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I booked a therapy session and finally told someone everything. Dr. Harris, my therapist, listened calmly as I laid it all out. The favoritism, the manipulation, the silence when I succeeded, the applause when Chelsea scraped by. Then she said something that cut deep. "Ava, you weren't just helping your family. You were enabling them to erase you." That night, I got another message, a screenshot, accidentally dropped into the family group chat. Chelsea had written to Mom. "She's losing it. We can probably guilt her into paying again if we push hard enough. Cry or something." I stared at it, my stomach turning. This wasn't just selfishness. This was a setup. I wasn't their daughter. Was their backup plan. And now, their plan was falling apart. What I did next made sure they would never see me the same again. 3 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. It was my dad. His voice wasn't angry this time. It was shaky. "Ava, please. The bank is moving forward with foreclosure. This is serious. We can still fix this if you just call us back. Please, sweetheart. We're your family." I played it twice, then deleted it. Because here's what they didn't know. I wasn't just canceling payments. I was documenting everything. The texts, the screenshots, the voicemail. Every dollar I'd sent to that mortgage. I spoke to a lawyer, Amanda Reed. Calm, sharp, and not impressed by emotional blackmail. She looked over the messages and smiled. "They can't touch you. You're not on the title. You made voluntary payments, and you clearly communicated when you stopped. If they try anything, they'll lose." "Can they sue me?" I asked. "They can try," she said. "But with this documentation, they'd embarrass themselves in court." I started to breathe easier. Then came the twist I didn't expect. Chelsea called my boss. She told him I was emotionally unstable, that I was spiraling and might need serious intervention. It was a full-blown character assassination attempt. But here's the part that backfired. My boss knew me. He called me into his office and asked gently, "Everything okay at home?" I told him just enough to be honest, that I was going through a difficult family matter, but it wouldn't affect my work. He nodded. "You're one of the sharpest people on my team, Ava. Let me know if you need time off. No drama, no accusations, just respect." That day, I sat in my car for 10 minutes and cried. Not because I was weak, but because it was the first time in my life someone showed me basic support without asking what Chelsea thought first. The next blow came fast. Aunt Linda, the only relative who still spoke to me, called and whispered into the phone. "Your mom and dad tried to log into your online bank account. The bank flagged it. You might want to tighten your security. They're getting desperate. They were drowning and reaching for me like I was their life raft. Too late. I blocked them all, except Aunt Linda. Then I moved out of my apartment and into a new place with my boyfriend Jason. A cozy 2-bedroom that I paid for. No strings, no guilt. No one crying in the corner because Chelsea didn't get her way. I bought a couch, painted a wall, hung my own pictures. For the first time ever, I wasn't living inside someone else's guilt trap. But I knew it wasn't over. Because Chelsea doesn't lose gracefully. And her next move? It would drag everything into the open, in front of the entire family. It came in the form of a group text. Family meeting, tomorrow. Aunt Linda's house. Everyone's expected. Even you, Ava. I stared at the screen. No details, no apology, just an order. Jason looked up from the couch. You going? I have to, I said quietly. Not for them, for me. He nodded. Then I'm coming with you. The next afternoon, we pulled up to Aunt Linda's. The driveway was packed. Chelsea's SUV, my parents' old Toyota, even Uncle Ron's truck. I stepped out, gripping a folder filled with printouts. Every payment, every message, every betrayal. As we walked in, the living room went silent. Everyone was already there. My mom looked puffy-eyed. My dad looked like he hadn't shaved in a week. Chelsea sat smug, legs crossed, a smirk playing at her lips like she'd already won. I took a seat across from them. Jason sat beside me like a bodyguard. My father cleared his throat. We asked you here to talk. The house is entering foreclosure. We have 45 days. This is serious, Ava. Is it? I replied calmly. Because 2 weeks ago you said you didn't trust me. You locked me out of the house I was paying for. Chelsea scoffed. Oh my God, are you still on about that? You're so dramatic. I reached into my folder and pulled out a printout. This is the text where Mom says I'm no longer welcome. And this is the screenshot of you telling her I'd never ask for the house back. Want to read it out loud? Chelsea's face tightened. My mom paled. Richard Thompson, the family lawyer and my dad's friend, looked over my shoulder at the papers. I wasn't aware of these messages. Of course you weren't, I said. No one ever tells the full truth when it makes Chelsea look bad. Wow, Chelsea snapped. You really love playing the victim, don't you? You really love stealing things you didn't earn, I shot back. I paid over $125,000 into that house, and all I got was a text telling me I was a threat. Uncle. Ron leaned forward. Chelsea. Is this true? Chelsea turned red. We were just protecting the house. By lying to the person paying for it? I interrupted. Jason leaned in. You don't get to ban someone from the house and expect them to keep paying for it. That's not how life works. The room went silent. My dad finally spoke. So what now, Ava? You just let the bank take it? Your mother and I will have nowhere to go. You should have thought about that, I said, when you handed Chelsea the keys. But we're too old to start over, Mom whispered. Please, be reasonable. I was reasonable, I said. For 2 years, while you all lied to my face and handed my sacrifices to someone who thinks effort is optional. Chelsea jumped up, furious. You're just bitter because I've always been the favorite. No, I said, standing too. I'm done because I earned everything and still got nothing. Richard Thompson finally spoke, voice low. Legally speaking, Ava has no obligation to pay anything. There's no agreement, no shared title, no debt. This is a moral matter, not a legal one. The silence that followed felt like the whole house had stopped breathing. What do you want from us? My mother asked, defeated. Do you want the house? I looked around. At their exhausted faces, at Chelsea, seething, at the same living room where I once sat hoping someone would say good job. No, I said. I don't want anything. I stood, picked up my folder, and turned to leave. You can't just walk away, Chelsea yelled behind me. I turned back one last time. You did it first when you locked me out, and I walked away, this time for good. But what I didn't know was Chelsea wasn't done, and her next move would go too far. 3 weeks later, I got an email from my boss. Chelsea called again, said you're mentally unstable and dangerous. That was it. She had crossed every line. I forwarded the message to my lawyer, Amanda, who immediately drafted a cease and desist letter for harassment and defamation. We sent it to Chelsea, my parents, and every extended family member involved. The message was loud and clear. Come near me again, and there will be consequences. After that, the silence was deafening. I focused on healing. Jason and I moved into our own place, small, sunlit, peaceful. I got promoted at work, started therapy again, began dreaming for myself instead of living for others. One day, a soft message came from my mom. I was wrong. About everything. I see it now. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. But I didn't delete it either. 6 months later, I met her for coffee. She looked older, quieter, more human. I favored Chelsea, she said, because she was weak. But I didn't see her. Strength came from being left alone. We talked. Not to repair, but to rebuild. On my terms, Chelsea never apologized, but I didn't need her to. Her silence was my closure. A year passed. Jason proposed. We're getting married in spring. My guest list is small, tight, real. I've built a life that's mine, not borrowed, not begged, not bartered away. And every time I drive past my old family home, now sold, painted, lived in by strangers, I feel nothing but peace. Because for the first time in my life, I didn't just walk away. I walked into my own power.